don't know whether this is an example of liberals finally recognizing the obvious, just getting them to admit the sky is blue, or that there's a difference between men and women. It's like pulling teeth from a hippopotamus. America's cities are unlivable. Blame wealthy liberals. The demise of a California housing measure shows how progressives abandon progressive values in their own backyards. Yet they do it on a regular basis. The whole point of being a progressive is the rules change. What you say today doesn't matter in 5 years or 10 years. Hello and welcome to the Tea Party Hardy channel, where the party is just getting started. Current events looked at through a skeptical eye using science, history, and sometimes humor to explore the events of the day. Let's get down to business. To live in California at this time is to experience every day that the cryptic phrase that George W. Bush once used to describe the invasion of Iraq, catastrophic success. The economy here is booming, but no one feels especially good about it. When the cost of living is taken into account, billionaire-brimming California ranks as the most poverty-stricken state, with a fifth of the population struggling to get by. Since 2010, migration out of California has surged. We call those the lucky ones. The basic problem is steady collapse of livability. Across my home state, traffic and transportation is developing a world nightmare. Childcare and education seem impossible for all but the wealthiest. There's so many welfare programs in the state of California that they're just getting yucky ones, that's all. The problems of affordable housing and homelessness have surpassed all superlatives. What was a crisis is now an emergency that feels like a dystopian showcase of American inequality. Didn't know a crisis was ever separated from emergency. That's good to know, I guess. Just look at San Francisco. But plug your nose when you do, since they have so much fecal matter on the streets. Nancy Pelosi City. One of every 11,600 residents is a billionaire. Congratulations. And the annual household income necessary to buy a median-priced home now tops $320,000. Yet, the streets here are plagued with garbage, needles, and, as I mentioned, feces. That's poo-poo. And every morning, bring fresh horror stories from a Black Mirror hellscape. Homeless veterans are surviving on an economy of trash from billionaires' mansions. Congratulations. And the NIMBYism, not in my backyard, baby. But because the largest American city is populated, run by Democrats, many in states under complete Democrat control, this sort of nakedly exclusionary urban restrictionism is particularly the shame of the left. Okay, let's look down here. Then there's the refusal part of the wealthy progressives to live by the values they propose to support at the national level. Much like the headline that our cities have fallen apart, that are controlled by the blueies. Why do you got the blues? Well, because it's a blue city. And stating that the sky is blue, and that there's a difference between men and women, and that, guess what, that entity inside the pregnant woman? Turns out that's human too. Wow. So many shockers to liberals. And to think they're the ones who believe they're the higher educated, and that they're the ones who believe in science. Yeah, I'm not sure they know what science is. Then there's the refusal on the part of the wealthy progressives to live by the values they profess to support at the national level. Creating dense, economically and socially diverse urban environments ought to be a paramount goal of progressivism. I wonder why. Why is it good to shove people into compact spaces? We all know the experiment with the rats. The more that you put into a compact space, the more they fight and kill each other. Why would you want to do that? And socially diverse urban environments, socially diverse, that means that they don't have a common culture. Socially diverse means they do not have a common culture. You want people to be shoved together. You want them to not share a common culture, and you expect that to end in a friendly manner? Well, like you said at the top in your headline, they're unlivable, because guess what? That formula is never, ever, ever going to work. United we stand, divided we fall. Creating dense, economically, and socially diverse urban environments ought to be a paramount goal of progressives. Sure, and you get what you get, and he's surprised. Cities are the standard geographical unit of the global economy. I suppose you could use that as a measure. Dense urban areas are quite literally the real America. Really? Okay, let's look further. The cities are where 2/3 of Americans live. And because they're including the suburbs, and they're counting pretty far out to get to the 2/3. It's a rigged number, surprise, surprise. And they account for almost all national economic output. Yeah, but they don't freaking count for the food. You might want to eat sometimes, because in order to eat, you need a vast amount of farm space. And if there's farm space, there's not people on there, because people tend to the farms that grow. Yeah, so enjoy your party of, oh, we make all the money. Yeah, but you're not going to frickin' eat if you don't have the farmers. Good luck with that. You think you're skinny now, you ain't seen nothing yet. Urban areas are the most environmentally friendly way to know of housing lots of people. That's an opinion, and I'm not going to tackle that because it's really not relevant. What's relevant is that they shoot themselves in the foot. The hypocrisy is through the roof, and they still can't see it. Well, he's calling them out. He's not calling them out because he's begging for more of the same. That's the irony. No, I'm not calling for more of the same. I want them to change the law so they can build more apartments. Okay. Yeah. A more environmentally friendly way. Housing lots of people. We can't solve the climate crisis. It is 64 degrees right now in Los Angeles on May 23rd. It hasn't busted 65 degrees Fahrenheit in 3 weeks. Well, there was one day where it went over 75. There was one day where it went to 75. Okay. It's supposed to be in the 90s. Okay. Yeah, climate crisis. Yeah, it's getting too freaking cold. Without vastly improving public transportation and increasing urban density. More than that, metropolises are good for the psyche and the soul. Density fosters tolerance, diversity, creativity, and progress. No, it doesn't. The people that live in big cities don't even know their neighbors' names. It is such an anomaly when people in big cities have a community relationship in apartments. You know, the densely packed one, not homes. It's all different when you're stuck next to somebody that's been... No. Good for the psyche. Once again, he's begging for different cultures in cramped spaces. That is not good for the psyche. United we stand, divided we fall. Diversity means divide. There it is. Diversity. Divide. Divorce. It means to separate. It does. You want people coming together? That's called unity. There's even a country named after it. It's called the United States. Too bad this fellow's apparently never been there. Okay, so that's all I got to say about this. This guy is crazy. He's not crazy. He's just misguided. You make it sound like there's a difference between crazy and misguided. America's cities are unlivable. It would have been nice if he would have brought up a bunch of the other ones, like, say, Seattle, which has the same problems for the same reason. Or he could have brought up New York City, which has the same problems for the same reason. Dude, your dream of cramming people together that have nothing in common are the problems. And then he ends with like saying, oh, but Trump wants to build the wall. He's so terrible. But at the same time, all these rich people are building their walls. What do you mean building their walls? They've had their walls. They're just making sure that nobody gets through them. A reading of opposition to State Bill 50 and other efforts at increasing density, I'm struck by an unsettling thought. What Republicans want to do with ICE and border walls, multi-progressive and Democrats are doing with zoning and NIMBYism. Yes, and they've been doing it as long as they've had money. Preserving local character, maintaining local control, keeping housing scarce and inaccessible. Okay, you won't catch Republicans doing that. The goals of both sides are really the same. To keep people out. Well, wakey, eggs and bakey, Mr. Man. Surprise, surprise. We're saying we welcome immigration, we welcome refugees, we welcome outsiders, but you're not going to be able to do it without a $2 million entrance fee to live here. Otherwise, you can use this part of the sidewalk for a tent. Oh, no. No. In LA, the tents are not filled with the illegal aliens. They're not. That's white people and a handful of black people. You do. I'm sorry. No, you don't. Okay. And so, why are you picking on illegal immigrant? Because that's what he said up here. When you're saying welcome immigrants, and God knows that for some reason, lefties have no concept that there's legal immigration and illegal immigration. Regardless of either one, that's not who's in the tents in LA or San Francisco. I don't know about Seattle. Ain't been up there in a while. Okay, anyways, said Brian Hanlon, president of the Pro-Density Group California. And again, does Mr. Pro-Density live in an apartment? I don't know, but I would love to know. Do you live in an apartment? Do you have to put up with your neighbors going bang, 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 boom, 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 and all the other stuff? Just want to know. That, to me, is not being very welcoming. I'm not being very neighborly. Mr. Man. America's cities are unlivable. Blame wealthy liberals. Yes. But it's their progressive ideals. No, let me rephrase that. It's their progressive laws that do it. You're only picking on one. All of them combined make them all. What did President Trump call it? Something about a whole. I'll leave it at that. We hope you enjoyed the content. And if you did, feel free to like, subscribe, come on back anytime. You're always welcome here as part of the family. And we'll see you in the future.